Good
Hello.
evening, Tunji. Yes.
Hi.
My guy on like I was just looking at that's your what's it called? The flyer, the events that you're having yourself, pray.
Uh,
And it's not just the event itself is mind blowing, brain busting, but like the reshares, the retweet. I'm just like, hey, or me for cool. Yeah, so today I'm here and everybody watching. I'm just here to listen to you talk about your journey, your experience, like what's gone on, what's happened, stuff like that.
okay, so my name is Tunji. I work as brand designer and partner at Fort Canvas. Fort
Mhm.
Canvas is a brand design studio. I also I founded and lead a team at Dear Designer. So Dear Designer is a community initiative aiming to elevate design and designers in Nigeria and in Africa. So, we have a couple of initiatives that we've done, a couple of programs we've done in the past year. And most popularly is a mentorship program where we had 48 mentors and 101 mentees.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
was that was that
for
was really mind blowing. Yeah,
uh,
mind blowing. Like, I didn't
okay,
even
you saw the posters then, right?
yes, like I didn't even know you until like
Yeah,
recently. But I mean, Dear
yeah,
Designer is a brand that just stuck. Like it,
yeah.
it was something nobody was doing. Like the personalization, like Dear Designer, the name just sticks.
And it started as an hashtag. So 2019, I felt like um, reaching out to like creatives around and then sharing thoughts with designers. In Nigeria through a hashtag on Twitter. Yeah, so I was supposed to tweet for every day. You understand? 365 days, like tweets. That was 2018. Yeah. So I started with the hashtag Dear Designer because it made sense. And it worked. So from the hashtag grew to having a blog,
Yeah,
design.xyz, and
brand.
then yeah, you understand.
Wow.
So yeah. So let me talk about my story. So I started designing professionally in 20, let's say 20, professionally, let's say 2015. Yeah,
Wow.
professionally 2015. Yeah.
Just
But
for context, 2015, I was still in Babcock, probably my 200 level or 200 level months.
2015, so I was in final year in school.
Oh,
Yeah, I was final year in school.
it's 200, 300 level. And I was very clueless on life. I was clueless. Bah.
Well, that time, I also knew what I was doing. I was just doing it as it comes. Yeah. So that's when I started designing. I learned design in 2013 during ASU strike. And then, sorry, I learned design and then I I just started playing with it during the strike. I was just started playing with it. I needed something to occupy myself with. So I started playing with design. I learned Corel Draw and then I went back to school 2014. I started designing for my friends and blah blah. I was reading medical rehabilitation, that's physiotherapy
Oh, yeah.
by the school. And then at that time I didn't know I would I didn't know I would go full time into design because I'm the looking at my background, I'm the most unlikely designer. You understand? My earliest days, secondary school, was pure sciences. I was like very crazy, very big on mathematics, physics, and chemistry. You understand? I was only supposed to study something engineering, maybe chemical engineering or civil engineering, but I did. I went the medical route. Not I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because I didn't have so much grip on myself at that time. So yeah, so that background of pure sciences, went to school, studied medical, and now designing. There are like three
Yeah.
different backgrounds. You understand? So I was filling a form one day. That was like last year, and there was a question that says that what's your background? So in the options, there was sciences, there was medical, there was arts, and it was a mathematics for life foundation. So I was confused that what do I pick? Because I mean, in the light of the foundation, I could pick any of the arts, I could pick
Anything.
any of medical or sciences, you understand? So that was that. And then I started designing, and then my thought was that I would practice as a physiotherapist and maybe do design on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But during that same ASU strike that I learned design, I also went to, so I grew up in Akure. So I went to the hospital to like practice. I wasn't supposed to be there because I was on 300 level. But I mean, I sure went there. I was in the hospital seeing what my senior colleagues were doing. Those who were practicing already. And once in a while, I also assist them. And then that was when I kind of knew that I'm not sure I want to do this thing because it felt a bit boring. It felt a bit, how do I put it
Like
now?
redundant, doing the same thing.
Like it was, you get it. Like it was like the same thing, the same thing. You're just doing the same thing. You're just doing the same thing all the time. So that was when I knew that I would likely not practice. Well, I mean, the options were limited, you understand? So, but got back. And then after I spent 3 months in that hospital, that I spent 3 months in the printing press where I learned graphic design.
Wow.
You understand? So it was like 2 experiences. For the 3 months in graphic design was exciting. It was like challenging. I had something to do. I went back home. I would not sleep. I would design what they said I should design, go back there on the next day.
Passion was
it was exciting. You understand? It was exciting. It was exciting. So, well, I mean, I still didn't feel like I would drop therapy for design. But 2015, when I was running up with school, my final year was crazy. I missed half of my clinical time. So I was supposed to go to clinic like 80 to 100 times. I only went 48 times. I almost was going to repeat my final year. I almost was going to repeat because clinical was the major course in the final year. And then, I didn't, I didn't make up to the quota to write the exam. But I mean, my supervisor, helped me. And then I had, instead of repeating the year, I did the exam and then I had like a month extension. So after the exam, I went to clinic for another 1 month. Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I said to go and do your clinicals.
Yeah, go do my clinicals. Yeah. So, I mean, that was it. So final year was just pure. I spent most of my time designing, and then the other part of my time was spent in the fellowship because I was a leader in my fellowship. So it was just like a few, maybe like 20-25% of my time that I spent in academics, reading, going to class, going to clinic. So most of my, if any of my classmates would see this, you know that, they would be laughing because I was the most unserious in my class. I would not come to classes. I'll not do practical and clinicals. I'll come for exam, I'll pass, maybe get my 60 or my 55, or when I'm lucky, maybe get a 65. I'm okay. I finished like that. And then, so when I left school, we finished school. I wrote my final paper March 30th, 2016. And then we were supposed to wait for induction. After induction, then we'll go for 1 year internship. After internship, NYSC. So between that March 30th, I was in school. Till like June, July. So I left IFE finally in June. Went to Akure. And then we still haven't done our induction at that time. So September came, and then they fixed it. That's 6 months after we finished our exam, we did our induction. But that September, I already started working at Fort Canvas. So when I moved to Akure, Victor called me. He called a friend of mine in IFE that he wanted him to come and start working for Fort Canvas in Akure. But that one was doing his master's, so he couldn't leave school. So he just said that, I have a friend in Akure who I can recommend for that role. So he recommended me. Spoke to Victor, and then that was how I started working. In July, it was supposed to be maybe a 2 weeks or a 4 weeks or a 2 months contract. It wasn't supposed to be a full time. It was supposed to be just do this for us for 2 months, and then you go for your internship. But internship didn't come until September. So when internship came, I still continued the work. So I was working remotely. So I moved from Akure to Owo for my internship, and I was working remotely. So internship 1 year, NYSC another 1 year. So throughout NYSC for the 2 years, I was working remotely.
Wow.
Yeah. So internship didn't come until May the next year. So induction was September, but I still didn't get internship placement. So I started internship May 2017. Yeah. So May 2017, to April 2018. That's an internship. April 2018 to March 2019. That's NYSC. And then those 2 years I was working remotely.
Imagine if you didn't have like any other thing to do. You'd have been so frustrated. Like just looking at
Well, I would have been, but I think I would just keep doing it. Because I felt like it was easy for me because I started earlier. It would have been difficult if I started designing when maybe after NYSC. And I now said, oh, I'm not sure I want to do this profession. It would have been difficult because there'll be pressure. There'll be pressure on me to start making money, pressure on me to start doing something in my life, in quotes. When I have a medical degree and you say that you want to drop that to now start learning something new. But the fact that I already could design, you understand, it was easier for me to just say, I don't think I'll do this guy. Let me just. And by the time I was done with my NYSC, I already spent 3 years at Fort Canvas. I was already experienced, people in design community knew me already. I was already mentoring younger creatives. So it was like in those 3 years, I've achieved more as a designer than I've achieved as a therapist.
So you just continue.
Understand? I think it wasn't really a difficult decision because it was gradual. It wasn't like I just woke up and I said I'm not doing physiotherapy again. It was gradual. From my final year to the 1 year that I was waiting for internship, to the internship to service year, it was just gradual. And I knew that no, I don't think I'll do it. When I was 7, I served in the barracks or job barracks, and then I was so much liked that everybody because I was teaching soldiers. It was like a school, job barracks. So I was teaching soldiers. I had army officers as my guys in the department, and they all wanted me to join the military. Because they felt like, this guy that is just so good like this. But I knew, I was just laughing. Then I was just laughing. I knew that I'm not joining military. Even the peace yourself, I'm not doing it. So I will now join military because of therapy and it's like two things I don't want to do together. I don't want to do therapy. I don't want to join the military. Now that's why I should join the military as a therapist now. So I was just laughing. That it's not possible. It's not possible. So yeah. So down the line, I've spent 2 years now practicing 100% as a designer. Yeah.
Wow.
This video is sponsored by Scribble, every creative's tool for expressive content. Would you like VIP access to our pre-order? Click the link below in the description or sign up at scribblehorde.com.
Wow.
2019 March to now. Yeah. 2 years.
Wow, that's impressive. That's amazing. And I think at this point, I'll just say that we shouldn't let what you studied is not. We should not tie our identity so much to that. Like for me now, I studied microbiology in uni, and I've always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I tried. I wasn't getting the exams, so not passing. So I couldn't get into medical school. So even after Babcock, I was supposed to travel to do medicine. I was not making it, and I gave it all up. But eventually, I found my passion, which is still something that revolves around health, but then more with communications as well. I've worked so much as a comms person, but now I'm in a health tech startup. So I think we should not wrap ourselves too much around what we studied in school.
Yeah. I think that for 2 reasons. One, because the Nigerian education system is limited, because till now there is no graphic design or the design course in universities. The closest to that is industrial design and architecture,
which is very weird because when I was looking at schools in Toronto, Canada, I saw a very interesting course, which is biomedical something. I can't remember. But the course literally, one of the requirements of the course is that you must know how to draw. So it's like, I don't know if you've seen all these illustrations where, COVID is moving on the screen and, vaccine is coming. So they're the ones responsible for putting together. So the course brings together medicine, brings together communication, brings together design. You know, and I feel like true. I agree with you on that one that our system is
Me
very
too.
one-sided and bent and narrow-minded. Like if you're not a physiotherapist, you can be nothing. Do you understand? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I've seen, especially with the way COVID happened, physiotherapy needs designers.
yeah, yeah,
Like there should be proper frameworks for how things are done at the moment. But because people there are not open-minded enough to see these things,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, hopefully you would go back, not like be a physiotherapist, but I mean start to mentor um physiotherapists, you know, like look, if
Well,
if you are like me, if you have a passion in design, if you have a passion in software programming, if you have a passion in communications, don't let this passion die. You get like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
something amazing you can do with it. Um, and I think another thing that has spoiled your creative journey so far is that you are very, I mean, from the few times you've spoken, from even all the things you've shared, I see you as someone who's very solution minded. So like you're not thinking, okay, how much can I make from this thing? You're thinking, what problem can I solve? Okay, how can I make this better? So that's also maybe something else we need to look at as creatives, like not just looking at ourselves and saying, I'm hungry, I need money for food, I want to change my phone. But like if we see things,
so
yeah.
let me share why I learned design, why I really learned. I mean, why I knew design was a thing in school. So when I was in 200 level or so, or 300 level, there was this fellowship event. I mean, my fellowship we have a lot of events. You understand? So I was talking to the publicity secretary at some point. Oh, who does these designs? So he said that they were outsourced, that someone had to do it from outside. And I feel like, how will the fellowship be this big? I mean, 300 members, and then not one person could handle designs. You understand? Although at that time there were people who could handle designs, but maybe they're just busy or something. So I felt like, okay, maybe I should just learn. Maybe I should just learn design to be able to help the fellowship. You understand? That was one of the reasons why I eventually picked up design during the ASU strike. So for me, it's always been about filling a gap. It's always been about being of help. It's always been about how I can help this person, I can help this person. And for my earliest 3 4 years professionally, most of the gigs I did were free. You understand? Because it was just me helping a friend. It was just me helping a an associate, an acquaintance, just me helping a classmate, helping someone to do this, to do that, and then it felt really fulfilling for me that I could at least contribute something to someone, and then they can move on to some other things they want to do. So a friend of mine said, I want to start a business, so I need a logo. How much should I pay? I'm like, don't worry, you won't be able to pay me. You won't be able to afford how much I would give you. And it's also not realistic for you at this level of your business to pay that amount of money for your design. But as a friend, I will give you this thing as a gift. So you're starting your business, I'm supporting you with an identity, and then go and do your work. So that was partly because of the reason why I started designing in the first place. It wasn't about I need to make money, I'm hungry, let me start designing. It was about there's a need somewhere, and then I feel like I could meet it. So that was why I picked up design at that time. And even till now, it's still a big part of me that if you come to me that you need design to be done, if I can't do it for you, I would help you get someone that will do it for you. I feel like, I mean, you shouldn't have the headache of, how do I get a good designer? How do I get someone to do this for me? Well, I can just talk to me. I'll help you get someone, at least if I can't do it myself. Yeah. So it's always been about helping, about assisting, about filling the gap, about being of help to people.
So yeah, I mean, it was very clear from the conversation that
Yeah.
that's where your mind is at, and really, really beautiful story, beautiful journey, beautiful, very beautiful one. So we'll be getting into more depth of, like how your what your creative process is like, how you enjoy it. Because to be fair, there are some times that, you know, things could get hectic.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, are there times you've had to take a break? You know, how do you take a break? How do you refuel yourself? And also, um, looking at yourself now, what are the things you've put in place to help you create better? I know off the top of my head, one thing I'll say here is I know you've mentored people, and obviously when you mentor people, you're like raising more people like yourself. So it's not just you fighting the wars alone. As you said now, if you call me that you need something, if I can't get it done, I would know somebody. So you know you've evolved so much. So let's just get into that. You know, let's just
So about my creative process, I
yeah.
mean, I think this is the first time I'll be answering this question. I think so. So I mean, looking at my background of science and medical,
Yeah.
there is little room for assumption. There's little room for trying to put your creativity on maybe maybe vibes and inshallah, or maybe put it on what I mean. Let's wait for what will happen. You
Yeah,
understand?
you're doing all
So
right.
yeah, you understand because my background says that 2 + 2 = 4. I mean that for you to get something, you have to put something together and then get to that final result. So that's literally how I mean my creative process has been. I don't see myself at times. I don't see myself as a creative in that sense of creative because I'm a very logical person. I'm a very number-driven person. You understand? And maybe that also influences the kind of designs that I tend to like. Understand? If it's not about details, if it's not about making a data-backed decision, making a logic-backed decision, and not just a feeling-backed decision. You understand? You hardly see me in such fields. You understand? So
Oh,
my experience as a designer is brand design, information design. I do a lot of data visualization. I do a lot of designing layout, designing publications. Then lately, I do product design as well, UI UX. You understand?
I already love designs, right? And these things you're just saying, you know, visualizing data. I feel like the public health sector, public health,
Yes, yes,
this is
yes,
something you need to do a
yes,
lot
yes,
more.
yes.
So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So that's why I see the creative process. I see it as being very detailed on why you are making decisions, on why you are choosing this instead of this, because the creative is a lot of decisions. At every level, you are saying yes to something and saying no to plenty of things. You are saying yes. So a lot of times people don't see it that way because they feel like I just felt like using this thing, but it's not that way. It's just that you had a better reason or a stronger reason to pick
so
one over the other. You understand? It's not just like you felt like is in a way logic based. You understand? It's just like you've not paid so much attention
okay,
to
what
listening to yourself. You
yeah.
understand? So even like be very attentive to yourself. So it's yes to this and no to some other things. You understand? And then little by little you make decisions and they are building the block to what eventually becomes the whole. And most of my earlier years as well, even till now, I feed my eyes a lot. You understand? Because the creative process. So one thing about creating is that there is the magic, there is the logic. The magic is what people see, what looks beautiful, what looks exciting that people see. And the logic is
What
how
are
you
behind the
that
scenes?
like the back end. Most of the time, the logic won't lead directly to the magic. So because you did your research, may not be the direct reason why you arrive at what you arrived at. You understand? There's something that is called the junkyard, the residual knowledge. You understand? Your mind. That's why the mind is like the most important design software anybody can have. You understand? And then this mind is where there's a lot of things that's in that mind.
Yeah,
So you've seen stuff, you've interacted with so many people, you've seen plenty things that you've heard many things that you can't even pinpoint when or how, but those things have stored in your mind. And then when it's time to create, there's a demand made on that junkyard, made on that knowledge bank, made on that your mind. And then most of the time, the result comes from that point. What research does for us is that it conditions our mind, you understand, to think in this particular way. It feeds our mind with information that it needs to process things from the residual bank, you understand, that we have. Do you understand? Yeah. So it's important that as creators we feel our bank, like we feel it again and again.
Right.
Something here. That's why as a creative, there's hardly anything I don't interact with. I see anything and everything because I feel like, I mean, I still have my mind. If there's something I see and then is affecting me, I would stop it. If it's affecting me beyond what I wanted to do, I would stop it, you understand? So I'm a very open-minded person. I listen to anything. I mean, at all, I find myself I find myself exposed to. I see anything that I find myself exposed to. I feel like those things, one way or the other, are going to my residual bank. And then once there is a demand made, you understand, I would definitely call on them, and then they would pretty much answer me. Yeah. So that's why I see the creative process. It's a lot of feeling your mind. It's a lot of seeing things, experiencing things.
Logic makes the magic, or logic and magic.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by Scribble, every creative's tool for expressive content. Would you like VIP access to our pre-order? Click the link below in the description or sign up at scribblehoard.com.
Yeah, logic and magic. So that's
then about taking a break. So,
well, not necessarily taking a break, but like, what do you believe? Like, people can hit the rock, like, just get to a place where they're just like, I'm not doing it again. And
yes.
Is it okay to take a break there or give up? And
absolutely, take a break. Yes. Give up. No.
So how do you define the taking a break? Like,
so, I mean, you are working on something, and then most of the time, for me particularly, what makes me hit the rock is always there's something I want to do, and then all my efforts is not getting me to where I want to be. Maybe there's a picture in my mind, there is an image that I have in my mind, and I feel like this is what I want to create. But maybe through, I mean, what I've been doing so far is not heading towards, it's not looking like it. You understand? So what I do is I just leave that thing. If I have time, I leave it for a while. Oh, let me just forget about this thing. Maybe I pick up my phone, I talk to someone, not about it though, just pick up my phone, chat on Instagram, go to Twitter, laugh, take a walk, just leave where I am, you understand? Or maybe do something else. And then I pick it up again, you understand? So that is taking a break. I mean, I'm trying to not think about this thing actively. I'm trying to leave it where it is, and then try and engage my mind with something else. And then tomorrow I come back to that thing. I try to continue from where I stopped, you understand? And then most of the time there's a kind of freshness that comes. There's a kind of, okay, do it like this, do it this way, you understand? So giving up is you saying, I'm not doing it again. You say, this project, though, I can't do this project again. I have to give it someone that can do it. You understand? Which is not all the time bad, you understand? But it's always a thing of decision. I mean, what do you think? Do you think you want to give this a try, or you feel like I can't do this no more?
Yeah, like I'm done.
I'm done. You understand? So, but I've not really had times that I've had to give up, because I also don't take. I'm always very careful of what I take in. You understand? There are some things that I know that I can't do this thing. That, like, it might take me time. It might take me to learn this, learn that, but I know that I can't do it. And there are some things I know that for me to do this thing, it will take more than learning. Maybe it will take a lot of re-engineering. Maybe take a lot of practice. Maybe take a lot of doing this thing again and again and again, and before I can get there. You understand? So you hardly see me taking those kind of jobs. Instead, I will refer you to someone and maybe watch that person as is doing it, or be in that loop as the person is doing that work for you. And then I pick one or two things so that the next time I can do these things myself. But you hardly see me trying to put the whole load on my head in the name of trying to push myself.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
There's a way I push myself, which is there's something I know that I should be doing or I should know how to do. Once I pick up those challenges, I breeze through them. You understand? Go to Google, go to YouTube, find my way, and then I do it. There was something I did early this year. So there were two projects we worked on at the studio last year, and then we created some letterings for those two projects, like some fonts. And then, I mean, you won't just create it for, you have to convert that to a font that can be stored on laptop that anybody can use. So I was one that created the lettering, the glyphs. It's called glyphs, the A to Z, 0 to 9. I was one that created them. And then I was one that said I would convert them to the font file. It's not something I've done before. It's not something anybody has done before in the studio. So it was like, okay, get this thing done. And then when I sat down with it, I knew someone who could do it. I knew one of my friends from school who could do it. I spoke to him. I said, "Guy, Alpha, there's this now to do. I mean, I know you've done it, and then I would also do it. You understand?" So at some point, I had some issues. I spoke to him. That guy, I have issue. Alpha, what's up? And he said, "Oh, check this material, check this," and I did it. And then eventually, I created those two things. Now that's why I push myself. There's something I know that I can do, one, or I should be able to do. Like I should be doing them. You understand? So I go for stuff like that and I push myself. There's something I know that, okay, I can do this thing, but it's a lot of engineering. You understand? So that way, I just try to learn on the side while maybe wait for another opportunity to present itself where I can practice those stuff. You understand? But it's good to take a break. In fact, taking a break, I mean, last year I was so occupied with work. Let me take off this and I don't make noise. I was so occupied with work last year that from January till the end of the year I didn't rest. It was work.
Woo! I want to see come and share your coins now.
And then towards the end of that year, I knew that, guy, just take a break this December. You understand? So December 18, we closed at work. I traveled home 23rd. I got home. I did not do anything design for like 3 weeks. I was just waking up.
That's like December, January.
Yeah, December, January. Watch movie, call people, like relax, do nothing, pound yam, do nothing. That was what I was doing for the whole 3 weeks. Do you understand? And it was me taking a break. And then when work started this year, I felt less pressured. I felt fresh. I felt like, oh, let's do this. I felt like, oh, I mean, let's do this. Let's get this done. Bring this challenge. I'll take it. You understand? So it's always good to take a break. Always good to take a break. But I feel like the way I see breaks is that I also don't wait till an accumulated time to take.
Oh yeah, like you're about to.
Yeah, it should be infused in your work. Should be infused in your work. It's possible that I go the whole of Friday, Saturday, and so Saturday, Sunday, and I do nothing. I can't go a whole of Monday and not do anything. I'm just in front of my laptop, just surfing the internet, just laughing on Twitter and Instagram, and I won't do anything. So I take breaks like. He said,
"Nobody can kill me."
Yes, so I do that alone. I can't kill myself, please. I can't die. Just let me. I can't do anything. Nobody will die. I don't do this work. So let me just rest.
Work will continue to come.
Yeah. So I feel like we should actually infuse breaks into our daily, weekly work. And not just walk and then wait for 1 week that won't do anything.
Because you may never get that 1 week. Maybe the next time you get 1 week is when you're on, God forbid, you're in a sick bed. And then
the reason why I don't really break down from work. Like, I'm not sure I've done it before that. I walked to work and I'm now sick. I'm now very sick and I can't walk because in my work there is rest.
I'm laughing at what happened to me last year.
There is rest. So in between that work, I'm resting. I can work for 8 hours straight and then the next 5 hours I'm doing nothing. I'm not even saying sleeping. No. I'm doing nothing. I'm just
Chilling.
watching film, just chilling, nothing. I'm not doing anything. You understand? Yeah. So
really.
and I hardly walk overnight. I hardly walk overnight.
Wow.
I hardly walk overnight.
Like for example, I think I'm nocturnal, so I walk at night. Like, but now I think I'm deceiving myself because I literally work 24 hours. Like, if I'm not careful, I can walk around the clock. That is, I walk till
Walk during the day, walk at night.
3 a.m. I'm waking up at 6, 7. So I tell myself to say that no, I'm not going to kill myself. Like, when I get to I'm not going to get to my breaking points. Like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that, because sometimes as creators, we tend to take too much of things on our plate, like collecting. It's okay to say no to certain things, that you just have time for yourself and have time, because if you begin to overwhelm yourself, like, you won't even be, your work will not be quality.
Yes. You just don't be giggle. Garbage in, garbage out. Just take.
You're just things.
You're just pushing work out. Yeah. You're just getting things done.
You understand? They're not getting things done. I don't get it done for the sake of getting it done. But really, I really like admire your work. I don't know, man. It's you are very diligent in your work. So I'm just going to ask off the top of my head is that, I mean, like, you've said so many things about organization, having structures, like everything is a whole cycle. As you are working, you are resting. One shouldn't outweigh the other. Like, your rest shouldn't outweigh your work shouldn't outweigh your rest. But what are the physical tools, or what are the tools that you feel has helped your process? Maybe more organized, more structured, like Notion, Figma, I don't know.
So I've used Notion a couple of times, but it's not part of, it's not something I use often. Mm-hmm. But the best thing that happened to me has been G Suite, Google Suite. So talk of Google Meet, Google Doc, Google Calendar especially, you understand? Like, it's so good. Google Sheets, like I use Sheets, Docs, Calendar, and Meet every day. You understand? Wow. Every day. Then, wow. If there's any important thing I need to do, I put it on my calendar, and then I can. So there was one time last year that I had 3 projects to do in 3 weeks, which is a lot. So at the last week, I had to catch up a lot. So what I did was I divided my time. So 10 to 12, I do this project. Take a break 30 minutes. 12:30 to maybe 2:30, I do this project. Take a break 30 minutes. 3 o'clock to 5, I do this project. So what I did for me is that it was there was a target. So that you are doing this thing for just 2 hours, and then after 2 hours, you drop it. And then you pick up the other thing, do it for just 2 hours or 1 hour. After that time, you drop it. So, and then Google Calendar was very helpful for me, because everything, the schedule is shown on my laptop, shown on my phone, telling me that, oh, we have a meeting now, you have to stop this, you have to start this. And then, Google Calendar has been so helpful for me. The old G Suite, the old Google product, especially Google Doc, Google Sheet, Google Meet, and Google Calendar, and Gmail definitely.
Yeah.
So
wow. Yeah. So that's nice to hear. I also do the same thing. And one thing I started doing, I don't know if I told you about it, but I have a brand called Scribble Sketch. It's Scribbleboard actually, but then one of our products, or the products we launched yet, is Scribble Sketch. So we had our first edition last year. So this year we're having the 2.1 edition called the Visionaire Schedler series. And literally, I feel like creatives should write stuff down. And it doesn't have to be like writing, like journaling, but like, there was a time I was working with a designer and I wanted to build a product for a non-profit, like, a product to like help volunteers, like come in, kind of track. And it was just scratching inside my head. Well, having the sketch pad and like outlining my flow in the sketch pad was very helpful. So I just wanted to ask if you do like scribble, sketch, draw stuff on like sketch pads if you find them relevant. And I don't know, just I don't know. That's
Yes. Sketch pads are, I mean, they are important because, I mean, on my workspace there's always a biro and a pad.
that means if you definitely give you one scribble sketch, you will appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll appreciate a lot. You understand? So maybe I'm trying to think and something. I just at times I don't start some things if I don't put it down first.
Oh,
So
wow.
and there are some weeks that most of my weeks they're always not so heavy on work, in terms of the important work. But there are some weeks that there's a lot of important work to be done. So what I do is I write everything down with biro, write everything down first, everything I need to do, and I
And
say,
then
okay,
start taking it.
yeah, start allotting time to it, and then see the ones that are not important that have to go. But I
Wow.
mean, sketching is part of my process. Especially when I'm creating brand identities, for instance, I have to sketch. I have to put my thoughts down on paper first before I even think of going to the laptop to digitize. Understand? So it's part of my process, like putting things down, biro and paper. Yeah.
I just wanted to speak to that a little. So we've heard about tools, read about your creative journey, read about your background. It's been so interesting listening to you talk to us today. And you know, I'm just happy for your growth. I'm happy for
Thanks for
I'm happy for the realizing or the self-realization, which I think the secret to that is be solution oriented or
yeah.
if you are money focused, I feel like you would lose your course very easily because today fintech me bang 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 we run there. Tomorrow health tech me run there. And then at the time you'll be nowhere as a community. So it's good to be solution because I actually feel like even money, like I'm not see I don't want to be poor, God forbid. I don't want anybody to be poor as well, God forbid. Which is one of the mottos of Scribble Sketch is that I mean, like your ideas, everything you are penning down is to generate money at the end of the day. So I'm not even saying anybody, but then I feel like it's always like trying to change us because when we're chasing after money, the real deal that will bring the money is the solutions, the value that we're able to, prefer and add. So really, 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 your story is amazing. And I hope people that that are listening to this are encouraged that it doesn't matter whether you're a medical doctor, whether you're a lawyer. If you decide tomorrow that you want to become a software engineer, I support you. I support you. You know, because I feel like,
in fact, to be honest, I think anybody can be anything.
Exactly.
Anybody
So let's not limit ourselves, I beg.
Anything. I mean, I've heard someone who once wanted to study law in school and they threw me finance. I mean, finance is a talent-based department, and he did well. He had to learn how to draw. I mean, learn how to draw from scratch, and then having to, draw at the, as a fine artist. You understand? So there's nothing anybody cannot do. There's nothing
at all. I think just put your mind to it, and most importantly, I would say yes. I'd also want to ask you that on this journey of yours, do you have mentors? Because I feel like that's something that's very important in one's creative journey.
So as a designer, I've had mentors, and I still have mentors, but they are not in the form of mentors. They are in the form of friends.
Okay.
You understand? So
the people you learn from now.
Yeah. So they are in the form of friends.
So okay. Because you need to even debunk this whole boss thing. I'm sorry, mentor thing. Because mentor is not Baba with Irungbon. That isn't working stick.
So for everybody that wants to learn from you, wants to like be my, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I have any mentee now, because there is nobody who is expecting something from me part time. I have a lot of people who I cater to, in quotes, understand?
I'm messing up my hands.
I can see. Understand? So because the first thing I do is that I try to crash that wall of boss, sa. I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Understand? Talk to me as a friend. That's the first thing I try to do. Like I try to crash that wall of well done, sir. mentor, sir. No, no. I'm your friend. I mean, we may not be mates. I may be 6 years than you. I may not be your mate as a designer and so forth. We are friends. I mean, I will try to connect with people personally, and that's why growing up as a designer, I mean, there was really there was not any time or any point that I had to do mentor for someone. You understand? But my friends around me, there was always something to learn from them. You understand? And then I mean, if I'm to say how I grew as a designer, I grew in the community. I grew in the community. So there is I mean, my colleagues at work being a big part of that community. And then I also had a community on campus. I was like a creative community campus. You understand? So till today, most of the people that I still interact with in terms of design are still these people from these communities. So I grew in that community. So I'm not really a fan of God-define someone. You understand? I'm not a fan of that. You understand? If you come to me to God-defy me, I try to crash that wall first. That calm down. I am Tunji. I am your guy. You understand? I am your friend. You can gist. You can speak Yoruba. You can speak Pidgin.
Talk to me.
Understand? Talk to me. Talk to me even beyond design. What's up with your life? How are you? You understand? So that's the first thing I do. I crash that wall because I feel like there's a lot that can be done when we do stuff with our friends. You understand? When you don't want to impress, because that's God-defying thing makes you want to impress someone. You want to impress that person. You want to look good in front of that person. No, come as you are. I mean, you can. I also make mistakes. I have friends. I also fumble. I also fuck up. You understand? As a person. So don't come to me wanting to appear as a saint. Wanting to appear as you understand, very, very pious. No. Come to me as you are. So that's why I see mentorship. You understand? Instead of you chasing the big guns, instead of you wanting to have a god in quote now as a mentor, why not just maximize your friends?
Exactly.
Maximize your friends. Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of my friends that, I mean, when they want to make decisions, they talk to me. Same here. When I talk to them also, guy, this is what I want to do, and then they advise me. When it's their turn too, they tell me, I advise them. You understand? So it's something like that I think has helped me the most as a designer.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, that's the deal there. Like, you know, some of us, we have this illusion that if the person does not have like 100 certificates, it can't be. See, just look at people, so long as they're doing, like, they have what you want. And sometimes I feel like we're greedy. When I mean like they have what, like, look at Tunji now. Like I just told him now that I asked to mentor me because I've seen his work. He's good. He's someone that I want to learn from. He's someone that, you know, is thinking solution, like is thinking solution based. So if I tell him that, oh, these are the problems I want to solve, he's able to channel me, you know, in the right direction to solve the problems. So I don't have to go to a Chris.
Yeah. No, find
yes, at the early stages of my career. Like later on in life, something may happen because at least even if I want to talk to the Chris guy, he wants to see what I currently have. So at every point,
I just feel like everybody should erase that. Wanting to impress, wanting to look good to someone.
Yeah. So it was.
I mean, it's not. It's not good to live a lie. I mean, that's that. I don't live a lie. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Just be yourself.
It's lovely hearing all of this, to be honest. It's all lovely because it helps me reset some things in my brain, and it's brought back some things that I love to do. So thank you very much, Tunji, for sharing your creative process, journey, everything with us, your background. I found it quite interesting, and I hope everybody watching this equally finds it as interesting. So Tunji, we'll continue our conversation in our door. I know the way to your house. You just see me in front of your door. Okay.
No problem. I'll open the door.
Yes, now you have to now.
All right, now. Thank you very much, Loretta.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Bye. Everything we see in our world today is a product of someone's imagination. Many people think that it's difficult to create. The problem most of the time is not the fact that you do not have ideas. In fact, many people think they are not creatives, but I feel like everybody can create. It's a very simple process. All I do is I think, I scribble, I sketch, and then I act. Be that person that would prefer solutions to the many problems that the world is faced with today. So it's time to think, it's time to scribble, and it's time to sketch. It's as simple and as basic as that.